Now to politics. A quiet day for Republican presidential candidates today. Earlier this week, Newt Gingrich surged to the top of the polls and upset conservatives when he announced his stand on illegal immigration. So, will his lead last? Here with a closer look is Amy Holmes, anchor of Glenn Beck's The Blaze. Also here, Republican strategist Leslie Sanchez. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
I'm going to get this right. Over the past few months, frontrunners in the Republican Party, Mitt Romney, Michelle Bachmann, Mitt Romney again, Perry, Herman Cain, and now you have Newt Gingrich. Leslie, what do you think? Does Gingrich have staying power?
He may. He very well may. One thing that is consistent is that Romney stays at about 20%, and everybody else kind of moves up and down. Now, we know that much. There's a lot of excitement, I think, in the Republican primary side. They're looking for a strong, conservative, social and fiscally, and I think you're seeing a lot of movement there.
Amy, do you think it's come down to Gingrich versus Romney at this point?
Oh, I think it's too soon to tell about that. We have the Iowa primary coming up, and from what we understand, the leadership there is trying to zero in on their best conservative candidate. They're looking even at Rick Santorum. His name doesn't get mentioned very often. But I think the real question for Newt Gingrich at this point is, can he parlay his current popularity into practical support? And remember, Newt Gingrich is Speaker. He was Speaker for 4 very short years, and it was a very rocky tenure for the former Speaker.
You know, it's interesting when people talk about that. People forget that he was actually one of the most successful speakers in terms of passing telecommunications reform, welfare reform, balanced budget. He worked with the Democrats. It was brutal, but I think people are, overall voters are looking for common sense solutions that will get in there, you know, roll up their shirt sleeves and get things done.
As we had mentioned earlier, Gingrich said some things this week at a debate that angered some conservative Republicans. Let's take a listen.
I'm prepared to take the heat for saying, let's be humane in enforcing the law without giving them citizenship, but by finding a way to create legality so that they are not separated from their family.
Going against the beliefs of many conservative Republicans, what do you think, Leslie? Will that hurt him?
I think that it potentially could, but he was really smart on the issue. It was a common sense approach. There's this idea of amnesty that people are talking about. No Republican candidates are talking about amnesty. He was saying that and accused of that, and it's a toxic word on the Republican Party. It takes all the common sense out of the room. I think he is actually approaching this in a sensible way that wasn't talking about anchor babies or you know, trying to give benefits or in-state tuition. He was taking an approach that was compassionate and serious.
Amy, what do you think?
Well, while some people say that Newt has the attention span of a 1-year-old, actually, it was Senator Richard Burr who said that. So does the media. And we're forgetting who the GOP nominated in 2008. And that was John McCain, who was a supporter of comprehensive immigration reform. And even more recently, November 9th, Arizona had a special election. And the Republican who led the Republicans in the state Senate, he was actually kicked out of office by conservative voters and replaced with a Republican moderate. And he was the author of the Arizona immigration law. So we see that actually with the GOP base that they're willing to be flexible on the issue of immigration, so long as that candidate is talking about strong borders.
I think the media is taking this too far, Amy. Is that what I hear you say?
Yes, I think they have. And if the media really, you know, just reflects back just a couple of years, again, as I say, John McCain ended up being the nominee.
There's a strong sentiment there. You can't deny. You can't deny the rift.
Very quickly for both of you, the Iowa caucus coming up on January 3rd. What do you think? How important is that going to be in the long run this time around?
It jumpstarts the election. You're going to see a lot of movement, a lot of excitement, and it really is showing intensity. There are a tremendous amount of Republican voters and independents who are in open primary states that are going to get engaged.
Amy, Iowa as important this year as in previous years?
Well, I think Iowa is an opportunity for one of these candidates, you know, sort of the insurgent candidates, to break ahead and really challenge Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney has not put a lot into Iowa. He lost. He came in second place the last time around. And if you remember, Mike Huckabee won Iowa, and there was a lot of excitement around him, but that too fizzled.
Okay. Amy Holmes and Leslie Sanchez. Something tells me we'll be speaking again.
I hope so.
Appreciate it.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for coming in.